If you click this video away, then please tell me what the reason was so that I can improve. Otherwise, hi and welcome. I am trying to learn space science today. Aldebaran and after that Edwin, Aldrin. It are just dictionary entries. And after we've done that, we're going to do stretching. And if you participate in the stretching, then is that at your own risk. Aldebaran is the brightest star in the constellation Taurus. It is also known as Alpha Tauri. Aldebaran is a red giant star about 68 light years from Earth. Now, let's go for a little moment and look what the red giant star is. Red giant, a large star, perhaps 10 to 100 times the diameter of the Sun. Because of their size, red giants give out a lot of light and so appear very bright. A red giant star is a late stage in the life history of an ordinary star like the Sun. More massive stars than the Sun can swell to over 100 times the Sun's present size, big enough to engulf the entire orbit of the Earth. These are called supergiants. Red giants and supergiants are believed to puff off their outer layers to form planetary nebulae, which look like glowing disks of gas. That information is actually helpful. We're going to mention some of it when we're going to do in a moment from memory our presentation about Aldebaran. So Aldebaran is a red giant star. It is 68 light years away from Earth. And red giant stars, we're going to explain that maybe first. Red giant stars that are stars like the Sun in their latest stage, and where we have ground bigger to 10 or 100 times the size of the Sun, and they are emitting a lot of light. Very bright. And then we're going to say Aldebaran is one of these red giant stars. And Aldebaran is the brightest star in the constellation Taurus. One moment for that. A large constellation of the zodiac in the northern skies, visible in winter. We're just going to say it's a constellation. Taurus is zodiac are a bunch of constellations. We already read that in the last part. That's right. Zodiac, a band of 12 constellations through which the Sun passes each year. We're going to say Aldebaran is a star visible, the brightest star at the sky. It is part of a 12 zodiac called zodiac constellations, and then of a constellation Taurus of these 12 of the zodiac constellations at the sky. Nothing more precise. We can't mention it at the side. And it is 68 light years away from the Earth. The star Aldebaran is also known as Alpha Tauri, and it is a red giant. Red giants are 10 to 100 times bigger than the Sun is, and therefore emitting, and they are glowing very, very brightly, emitting a lot of light. I'm going to start the second camera, and then I try to save it for memory. Aldebaran. Aldebaran is a star which is visible. There is zodiac, and that is the combining of 12 constellations which are visible at the night sky. One of these constellations, of the zodiac constellations, with 12 is Taurus, and in Taurus there's now this Aldebaran star, also called Alpha Tauri. It is 68 light years away from the Earth. Now, a star goes through different stages, and the last stage of a star is it to be a red giant. It grows in size to the 10 or 100 times of its size, of the size of the Sun, so 10 to 100 times bigger than the Sun, and they are emitting a lot of light. And Aldebaran or Alpha Tauri is such a red giant. And Aldebaran is the brightest because it is the red giant of the stars of a constellation, of a Taurus constellation, of a zodiac constellation, Aldebaran. That is according to the page 48 of the Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 1, Structures of the Universe, written by Ian Ridcliffe and John R. Shakespeare. I'm going to stop the camera. And we're going to go on with our second thing here. Edwin Aldrin. Edwin Aldrin, born in 1930. He is an American astronaut and the second human, or man also, to walk on the moon. He and Neil Armstrong, commander of the Apollo 11 mission, landed their module on the moon on July 20, 1969. As a presentation about Edwin Aldrin, these are a pretty small amount of information. But we're going to call it Edwin Aldrin. If we were later on making a bigger presentation about Edwin Aldrin, we're going to retitle it to Edwin Aldrin, second person on the moon, or something like that. So we're going to say these informations. Edwin Aldrin was born in 1930, and he was the second of the three people who were part of the Apollo 11 mission, which landed on the 20th July 1969 on the moon. And he was the second person after Neil Armstrong, another person on board of Apollo 11, who walked onto the moon. So Edwin Aldrin was the second person, the second human being who stepped onto the moon's surface. I'm going to start the second camera and then I try to say it. Edwin Aldrin, he was born in the year 1930 in America, in the United States of America. And he was Edwin Aldrin, an American who was born in 1930. He was part of the Apollo 11 mission. He was one of the three people on board of the Apollo 11 capsule of a rocket, which brought these three people to the moon. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. Edwin Aldrin, an American, a US American. Edwin Aldrin, born 1930, a US American. On the 20th July 1969, the Apollo 11 rocket with capsule landed on the moon, and two people stepped out and walked on the moon. The first one was Neil Armstrong, the second one Edwin Aldrin. And with that, Edwin Aldrin is the second person at all who walked on the surface of the moon on the 20th July 1969. That's according to the page 48 of Reader's Digest Library of Modern Knowledge, Book 1, Part 1, Structure of the Universe, written by Ian Ridcliffe and John R. Shakespeare. I'm going to stop the camera. And that was the space science part. If you were here for space science, then you can go directly to the next part of space science. If you stay here and participate in the stretching, that is that at your owners. We are having the legs standing hip width apart, going a bit down into the knees. And now flex the leg muscles and press the leg muscles together, or the legs together. And now straighten one leg. And bend it again. Press the whole time together and flex out the boundary. Other leg, straighten it and bend it again. A bit wider apart, down into the knees a bit, flex again, press together, straighten again. Bend again. Other leg, straighten and bend. A bit closer together, and we're doing the locomotive unwilling to derail and press to the outside. Now, legs are standing shoulder width wide apart. We are breathing in and lifting the arms up. And now breathe out and go to the side. Again in and out and go over to the other side. Again in and out and the arms down. Breathe again in. And one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. Breathe in. And out, take one arm over. Breathe in and open the rib cage. And again out, over. Breathe again in. Out, the other hand slides down the leg. Breathe again in. And out, the other arm over. Breathe in. And out and back. Have the feet standing together and breathe in and lift the arms up. Now breathe again out and let one hand down. Breathe in and reach. And again out, one hand up. Breathe in and reach high. And out the other hand down. Breathe in and reach. Again out and out down. Have the legs standing shoulder width wide apart and we're doing shoulder circles. Back, up, front and down with the shoulders. And backwards, front, up, back and down. Now, another time. Breathe in and lift the shoulders up. And exhale and let the foot up. Again in. And out. Breathe in and lift the arms up. And now reach always high with one hand. Pretend to take an apple which is hanging high on an apple branch. Pretend to turn it a bit around and then to rip it out. 2 more. Now have the legs standing wide apart, the arms up to the side. Breathe again in. And breathe out and go over to the side. Breathe again in. And out over to the other side. Again in. And out, and we're leaning onto the knees. We're doing the buffalo fighting its hangover exercise. Breathe again in. And out and bring my shoulder in front. Again back. And out the other one in front. And back. And out and we're hanging down. Breathe again in. And out and go over to one leg. Breathe again in. Out and go over to the other leg. In into the middle. Close the feet, but keep on hanging down. Breathe again in. And out. Again in. And out, come slowly with the round back up and make at the top backwards shoulder roll. Have the toes pointing to the outside and ulnar length space between the heels. Breathe in and lift the arms up. And breathe again out and sink down. Elbows against the insides of the knees. Breathe in and straighten up. And breathe out and come with the back up. Breathe again in. And out and down. Breathe in and straighten up. And out and come slowly one straight line up. And to the last exercise, the seahorse pose. Have a good standing leg, the heel of the other leg on top of the knee of the standing leg. Breathe in. And if you can do it without to injure yourself, sink down. And now up again. All the same things, just with the other leg. Breathe again in. And out and down. And again up. Legs to the sides. Breathe in, go down, and come again up. And breathe out. Again in. Out. One more round. Breathe again in. Out. Again in. And out. Breathe in and close the legs. And out. Wait, pause for stretching. I thank you very much and at the next time.